Okay, looks like we're operational. Good stuff. Loads of people in the chat already, so I'm going to say hi to a few of them. Welcome to the 28th live stream for the EDDBUD channel. It's probably going to be the last live stream of the year, so little sort of end of year party, I suppose. I've brought some party stuff with me. I've got a nice drink of Coca-Cola, Pepsi or whatever. Doesn't taste like any Pepsi I've ever had. And we got a whole box of After 8 dinner mints as well, so I'm going to have one of those now. Really get in the mood. Hope you're all doing fine. I hope you've all had a great Christmas. Oh, it's good. We're really living it up. Richard Rendell's been trying out the Guinness and the mint matchmakers. Oh, it's good. We've got loads of people in here. Oh, you don't want to eat those too quickly. Well, that's not good. Sarah Mims is here. She's been out a 5-mile easy run in Atlanta. She's just got back for the live stream. Awesome. Thanks for joining us today. Richard Rendell's here. Noble Wizard says he's looking for a daily trainer, but he's not liking the sounds of the Nova Blast. So perhaps if anyone's in the chat got some good suggestions there, I would say Steve says the Infinity React. I'd say that's a good choice. Yeah, they just never age, do they? Those shoes, Steve. They just keep on rocking. Ingrid's here. Hello from Norway. Hello there. Thanks for joining in with the live stream today. Ben Browning says there's a cruel hoax was perpetrated in the US on us Aussies yesterday. A mirage of a 20% off code on Vaporfly Next percent. Was it an actual thing, or was it just a cruel trick? Richard Rendell saying that he's got a strange issue with the Saucony Endorphin Speed. One of the shoes feels slightly softer than the left. I'll tell you what, those Reeboks I tried out yesterday, the right shoe feels really different. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something to do with the insole. I don't know, but it's really disappointing. We'll talk about that one a bit more later on. That's good. It's good stuff. Who else we got here? Kevin Bickerton's here. He says, hello Ed. Hi Kevin. Anthony's here from Bologna. Awesome. In Italy. Fantastic stuff. Thanks for joining us, Anthony. Jeff Elliott's here. Lee Sumner is here. He's in Catterick Garrison. Amazing. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in, Lee. Triple R's here, as always. Mike Gamber's in the house. He says compare and contrast the Adizero Adios Pro and the Endorphin Pro. Oh, blimey. There's quite a bit of difference between those two shoes, I have to say. There's a lot to be said in terms of differences there. Jane Killingberg is here. She says, hi Ed. Hello. We got Joel McCluskey. He cannot beat a wafer thin mint. Oh yeah, I'll tell you, I've eaten a lot of these mints. I've eaten a lot of these mints. Just to sort of fill you in on my comment yesterday, why I didn't do the live stream yesterday, I had a bit of bad news. I found out my daughter, where she lives in London, sadly some people that live with her have got the virus, so that puts pay to her sort of coming down to see me over Christmas. Really, I was really gutted about that. But there's nothing you can do. You know, you've got to stick with the rules. If someone's got it, then obviously you've got to self-isolate. There's nothing you can do about that. So she was sad, and I was sad, but hey, you know, it's that's the way it is. There's nothing I can do about that. Nothing I can do. But we're back today. We're back. I've got the bright shirt on. and there's some new shoes to test. There's lots of positive things to be doing and to keep moving forward. Robin's in the house. He says, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Robin. The kids is alright, says, thanks, Ed. The only decent running YouTuber that bothers to review both the Alpha Flight and Tempo Next Percent without bias. Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit weird. It's like, I like to review stuff and really give you my opinion, my honest opinion. I don't see any worth in just going with the flow and just going with everybody else. You know, the Tempo Next Percent for me is a rocking shoe. That is a fantastic shoe. I love running in it. The only issue I have with this that I cannot run slowly in it. I've got to just blast it. In a weird way, I even run faster in that shoe than perhaps the Alpha Fly. It's really weird, but I'm really glad that the reviews come off like that. Those are my opinions. I can't be something I'm not. I can't say things that I don't believe. I just cannot do that. I couldn't put my head down on a pillow at night and go to sleep and do that. It's got to be from the heart. It's got to be from the heart. Kevin Scott says, evening. Oh, I've lost it. The chat is just manic. It says, evening, rather nippy Scotland. Thanks for destroying my hopes and dreams. I'm sorry, Kevin, but it's not a good upper on that run fast 3. It really is not. Although, don't worry though, Mrs. Edbud's going to get out the sewing threads and the needle and all that and see if she can do some adaptations to it, see if we can improve it a little bit. And then I'll send my prototypes to Reebok and see if they can do something about it. Joe Mullins here. He says, decided to take a break from running. Oh right, I'll tell you what, Joe. You know, it's not a crazy idea. Just letting the legs really rest up and letting them rejuvenate. I think it's not a wild or crazy idea. I think it's a very sensible idea. Square Wheels says, any plans to attract more subscribers in 2021? I'm just going to keep on kind of doing my thing, and if people enjoy it, then that's great. I'm not going to do anything wild and crazy. I'm going to keep doing what I do because I think people enjoy it, and I enjoy it. So I think that's what the world's all about, right? Omar says, hey Ed, how am I feeling? I'm feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better. I'll take a nice easy day today, 4 miles, nice easy pace, and going to rack up the miles this week, some serious mileage. David Cowdrey's here. He says, evening Ed, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, David. I hope you're having a good time with you and yours. I hope you're having a peaceful time. Roger Tellis is here. He says, greetings from Maryland. Finally caught a live chat while it's live. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in, Roger. It's good to have you with us. Ben Vaughan's here, and Replicant says, he says, hey Ed, hey chat. Thanks for joining us, guys. Kevin Bickerton's in the house. He says, have you ever done specific heart rate training to lower heart rate, or is it through consistent training? Oh, I see. Right. I think I've kind of done it unknowingly, Kevin. I think it sort of happened unknowingly. It's just slowly lowered over time. But I have been very conscious recently about sort of adjusting my training and for different runs at different heart rates. That's been something I'm quite interested in. Making sure I run those easy runs, very, very easy. And then hitting the harder stuff, you know, getting right up there into the threshold sort of zones. Space Manatee is here. Hello. Robin says, saw a pic of the Next Percent 2 today. Looks like the same midsole. Yeah, it does. Just upper changes. I think the upper changes will be real positives for that shoe. A few people, as well as me, found the Vaporwave a little bit harsh, I suppose, over time. I got a really bad blister, actually, on a half marathon race using the Next Percent. I had to go up half a size. With the other pair that I got, so I think this new upper could be, it could just tweak things a little bit and make it an even better shoe, because the Next Percent is a smashing shoe, it has to be said. Ingrid says, by the way, other than me that have a problem with running in Hoka, there's a video coming up later today, Ingrid, where I do mention a little bit about Hoka shoes. And I have had a few issues with them over time, mainly in terms of the upper and also the narrow nature of some of them. I mean, I've got like a normal width foot, but yeah, I've really struggled with Hoka's, some of them. So do tune in for that one. It should appear at around about 9:30 UK time, so about half an hour after the live stream is complete. So do look out for that one. Oliver Heath's in the house says, hi Ed, in terms of comfort for those easy days, what would you suggest out of the Boston 9 or the original SL20? For comfort, I'd go Boston 9. That's a lovely shoe, comfortable upper, lots in the midsole there. That's what I go for, is the OG. I'd go for the Boston 9. There are a couple of super chats, so I do want to mention those. Joe Mullin, thank you very much, Joe, for the super chat. Just want to wish you and everyone on the channel a happy new year. Don't forget to hit that like button, he says. Great stuff. Thank you, Joe. I do appreciate that. And also from Dave Cowdrey as well. Thank you, David. I really do appreciate that. He says, thanks for all your great content this year. I don't buy shoes anymore until I've got the EDDBUD thumbs up. Excellent. So I'll keep trying to be nice and down the line with those reviews for you, David. Sorry, Dave. And thank you very much. I do appreciate that. We got loads and loads in the chat. Try and answer as many of the questions as I possibly can. Anthony says, thank you for the excellent shoe videos. No worries, I'm glad you enjoy them. Nathan N, he says, aloha from Hawaii. Amazing. This Aloha from Hawaii is my favourite Elvis album. That is a beautiful album. I hope it's, I don't know what the weather's like over there at this time of year. I suppose just nice. It's chilly today. It was crisp and chilly out there with a light drizzle. Square Wheel says, hello from Singapore. It's 4 AM there. You're watching the live stream, 4 AM. Blimey. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. That's going above and beyond. Dee Dee says, hi Ed. Hope you have a happy Christmas. We're having a good time here. Nice and quiet, because there's not really anything else you can do. We're just trying to keep our little baby occupied and busy. Miss EDDBUD, in fairness, she does an amazing job doing that. She's, I'm obviously trying to sort of do all my bits and keep that stuff going and sort the house out and stuff, but she is tireless, absolutely fantastic, amazing woman, and she plays so beautifully with the little guy. He's doing really well. He's a very happy little soul, he is. You probably saw him the other day in the video. I put a little clip of him in there. He's just such a happy little person. Lenny Hendricks says, your Strava Club leaderboard's fierce. I need to get back in there and say hello to everybody. 100 kilometres away, doesn't even crack the top 100. Crikey. Yeah, there's some big runners out there on the club at the moment. It's madness. There's a local running club that I'm a member of, the Yeovil Town Road Running Club, and if you've got about sort of 50 to 60 miles, normally you get the top spot. So I was a bit off last week, about 40 miles. The week before I did about 56, which I was up near the top. But there's a chap who's been doing one of those pyramid type runs where you run the number of kilometres in the day. I think he did it up to the 24th, up to Christmas Eve. Man, he must have been tired by the end. That's a lot of kilometres. Scott McComish says, hi Ed, you managed to get a pair of the Adidas Pros, but found them underwhelming, and the only running them so far. I put in about 10 miles and then they sort of changed almost. I don't know whether they changed or I changed. But I found that they really I'm not sure if they kind of altered. I suppose maybe the midsole kind of broke in a little bit, but they really did change after that. And yeah, I smashed some times, some PRs in that shoe as well. So stick with them, Scott. I think put some hard efforts in there, maybe a couple of threshold runs to really break them in. Jeff Elliott says, do I listen to the DIIV podcast? I'm not sure what that is. Tim Gross is in the house. How you doing, Tim? I hope you had a great Christmas. You and Mrs. Gross. I appreciate your comment there. Thank you. She'll be okay. I mean, my daughter. She didn't. She had the test and everything, but she's negative. But obviously, she's with other people and stuff. So. Help Mark says, found the channel recently, great stuff, picked up the 1080s and the Endorphin Speed. Oh, great shoes. Yeah, a dry shoe for me, the Speed. Although it will always be one that lives in a lovely part of my memory. Just after our baby boy was born, I can remember smashing out a really quick run in the Speed. It was a beautiful day, sunny, warm, lovely day. Brock is in the house from Louisiana. Fantastic! Thanks for tuning in, Brock, and sticking with us here. Kids is alright. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. I'm sure she'll be fine. She's very fit and healthy. John McCluskey says, Ed, any recommendations for races around the south of England? I live in Hampshire. Now you got into running this year. Oh, okay, so yeah, there's loads down in this area normally. there's loads of races on. Nothing specific jumps out at the moment. I've kind of switched off from that right now because anything that pops up, you know, a race, oh, sign up for this, sign up for that. You don't know right now if that's ever going to happen. This year, so I'm just waiting really. I'll perhaps find me a message in the comments section. I'll get back to you with a list of some of the great races that appear in the south. Ben Browning says, anyone else seen EDDBUD's punk pub performances? Yeah, there's an old video up, and I've left it there very deliberately really, so occasionally people kind of stumble across it. With my band, the Animal Urges, so like a three-piece. We do kind of, I guess it's sort of rock and roll, but cranked up to 12, I suppose. With my cousin John Basinski and the Mystery Man on the drums, Alan Flint. But it'd be great to get back and play with those guys once things return to normal service. Kevin Scott says the Brighton half marathon. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good suggestion. So Marcus Baker says, evening all, and what goals have I got in 2021 then? So initially I'm going to kick off in January with a marathon, another time trial. So what I want to do is get one under my belt. So after the one in October, and see if the sort of fitness has improved a little bit, and also one where the watch doesn't die when I try to save the result, because that was heartbreaking. You know, it's not a good thing. So yeah, I'll be at a marathon time trial, and gonna hit another half marathon time trial as well. Hopefully, if there's some sort of race on a reasonably flat course, I'd love to set that in a proper race. I think I'm getting closer to that 1 hour 30 target that I've got. Those threshold sort of paces, you know, round about 6 minutes 50 that I'll need to get that time are getting easier. They're getting more achievable over distance. If I think about the 10k PR that I set for the ASICS World Ekiden back in November, where I ran with Kafuzi, Run Like Hella, and the FOD runner. I've hit that in 41, was it 41.19? Something like that? Yeah, it was along those lines. So it's getting closer. It's getting tantalisingly close, that sub 1 hour 30 half. So really want to try to achieve that this year. That'll be great. And then just trim off a little bit on my 5 and 10k times. That'll be brilliant. I'd be over the moon with that. Eric the Red says, I enjoy your channel and its aberrant shoe reviews. I'm glad that you enjoy those, thank you. I enjoy making them, I've got to be honest. It's a joy making shoe reviews, historic shoe videos. I like doing the yay or nays. There's one of those coming up later on today, so make sure you're ready. There's a there's a whole group of people now trying to get the first comment. It's like a war. There's about 5 or 6 people that are always there ready, and sometimes there's only seconds between it as well, where people are like right on the money trying to get the first comment. It's nuts, but I'm glad you enjoy watching that much, guys. I really do. The Hampshire Road Race League races. That sounds good. Mike Gamber would like a comparison battle of the Adidas Pro and the Endorphin Pro. I'll tell you what, Mike, I'll make it happen for you. It will probably be, it won't be tomorrow. There's a new review coming up tomorrow. It will be the day after, so I think that'll be the video for, what day is it? Is it Monday? It's Monday. Tuesday. So it'll be like Wednesday time for the Adi Zero, Adios Pro and the Endorphin Pro. Kevin Scott says, I wonder if the Vaporfly Next Percent 2 will ruin the upper, just like the Run Fast 3. No, I think it'll be all right. I think it's looking good. Dan Run says, you use Hoka wide and I've had no issues. The problem I've got, Dan, if I went to a wide version of those Hoka shoes that I tried, they'll be massive, they'll be ginormous. The problem I had with the Clifton was it was in the arch. The shoe was huge, even just in the normal size. I went for the 11 and a half, like I always do in Hoka, and it was just massive. So it wouldn't have helped me out. I would have had to wear like 3 socks or something like that, and I don't know, wrap my foot in a bandage. Ben Browning says, how about Tempo Next Percent upper with the Next Percent midsole? Interesting. I'm not sure. I know you can do the flip of that. You can do the Tempo Next Percent midsole with the Vaporweave upper at the moment. I need to get the, I think I'm on about 80 odd miles in the Tempo Next Percent now, so the 100-mile review will definitely be next week. I'll be almost there after tomorrow's run, probably. Sarah Mims says, learning about running this year and love the channel, thank you. Glad you're enjoying it. Question, how long typically is a tempo run, and is the goal to keep a steady, quick pace or go as hard as possible? So with a tempo run, really you're looking at what you're training for. So if you were training for a marathon or a half marathon, you're going to look at perhaps different paces there, but the length of time will obviously differ as well. I'm typically, the majority of the time, training for the half distance, so I kind of keep my tempo runs to about 7 or 8 miles really, and keep a pace which is, I would suggest, sustainable sometimes, but then if I start edging towards into a threshold run, so it tends to be an aerobic sort of pace, rather than going as hard as possible, because then you're going into that sort of threshold sort of area, which it's sometimes interesting as to how far you can keep that going. But when training, you don't really want to be pushing into that area too much. Ben Browning says, easy run Reebok Symmetros after shaving the sole rubber a bit. There's a lot of rubber on that shoe. That was one of the, I don't know, it's the upper's great on this really in comparison to the Run Fast 3. We won't talk about that too much to upset Kevin Scott. But there's a lot of rubber here. I think this is going to be a great long run shoe, in fairness. It's got all the hallmarks of it. A little bit more plush, great tongue. Just need to switch those laces out really. That'll be the first thing to do. I've no idea what they were thinking about with those laces. Lee Runs Ultra says, hi, I hope you had a good Xmas. Yeah, I did. It was great. I hope you had a good one too. Dave Cowdrey says he got The Messenger by Johnny Marr on vinyl today. Awesome album. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying that one, Dave. It's a really wonderful album. Start to finish, every track's good. I always remember a gig I went to see Johnny Marr in Bath. And there were a couple of chaps at the front. I think they were probably old enough to remember the Smiths. And they were really drunk. They'd had too much to drink. And they were sort of bumping into people and just generally sort of shouting out and being a little bit like upsetting, I suppose. And Johnny Marr actually stopped a song midway through and told them off. It's like the most amazing thing I'd seen at a gig. And they were so ashamed that they just walked out. And Johnny just sort of looked at everyone and said, right, let's get back to it. And then he just kicked in with another tune, and it was amazing. Amazing dude, a really nice guy as well when I met him. He was everything you want your heroes to be, you know. Everything that you want, that you dream that they'd be, he was. David Parabhu says, greetings from the Bahamas. Oh, wow. I love your channel and content. All the best. Thank you, David. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Awesome. There's people from all over the place. Norway, parts of Scandinavia there, over in Europe, Germany. Brilliant. It's just so wonderful to speak to people from all over the globe. It's something that unites everybody. Lucy Taylor says, hi Ed, she completed a couch to 5k yesterday. Going to continue running. Any tips to stop my calves from cramping? Always hurt the first 15 minutes. Are you warming up, Lucy? I would suggest some light warm up, maybe around 10 minutes, just very light, easy jogging almost at the start. What I tend to do before a run anyway, I'll do some very light dynamic stretching. I say light, you don't want to be pushing things too much, stretching parts of your body too much. Just dynamic stuff, just range of motion really. Just to make sure I'm nimble and feeling like I'm up for it. Because, you know, the night before, if I've eaten too many after dinner mints or anything like that, you know, you can feel a little bit rusty, I suppose is the word. I hope that helps out anyway. Let's try and catch up with some of the comments here. There's so many comments. Stefan says, greetings from Bangkok. It's 3 AM now. Awesome. Glad you're enjoying the videos there, and that's going above and beyond watching at 3 in the morning. Omar says, have I reviewed the Saucony Ride 13? I haven't reviewed that one yet. Perhaps if I can pick one up for a good price at some point, Omar, I'll take a look at that one. Dan Run said he hated the Clifton 6 and it became a daily trainer. Yep. The Clifton, I don't know, it just was quite uninspiring. It wasn't a good upper fit for me. Gavin Braden says, even Ed finally got the twins to bed, so a bit late to the party. Oh, our little guy, Fergus, was exhausted today. I think Miss EDDBUD's been getting him to play quite a lot with his little toys and everything, trying to wear him out. So he was completely out for the count early on. Oh, awesome, Jeff. I'll check that band out. First album from 2012. Okay, yeah, I'll check them out later on the headphones. I'll put the Sennheisers on and have a good listen. Swiss Peak says, any idea when the React Miler 2, the Infinity Run 2 and the Zoom X Invincible drop? I've heard that the Infinity Run may drop in early January. Of course, over here in the UK, if you were quick, you could get in with Mike Ashley and his crew at Sports Direct and pick yourself up a pair of the Infinity Run 2. But the other two, I'm not sure. I think they've got a lot of React Milers, the original version, to try and shift yet. But my eyes, I think, are probably on the Zoom X Invincible. That one does... Oh, it just sounds great as well, doesn't it? What a name. The Zoom X Invincible. That's a great name for a shoe. Marcus Baker, the New Forest half in January. Yeah, that's. I think. Yeah, is that a trail? Is that a trail half, Marcus? So I think I keep seeing some adverts for that one. You know, get the Terra Ultra G270s on. I'll be up for a bit of that. I think it's not too far away. The New Forest. David Hamed says, "Happy Christmas, Ed. Can't find a pair of the RC Elite anywhere." Yeah, they're really tough to get hold of, certain shoes at the moment. Someone commented that they managed to get the Adizero Adios Pro on Christmas Eve here. They had a few up on the Adidas website. But yeah, some shoes, they just seem to be starving the supply of. No idea why. Noble Wizard says, "What running gear in general do you recommend for running here in the UK?" Well, at the moment, I really struggle with my hands getting cold. Mrs. EDDBUD got me some super gloves that I think they're Under Armour ones, in fact. So they're a glove, but then you've also got a piece that comes across like a mitten, which you can store in the back section of the glove. I'll do a review on those soon. I've got a few new pieces of running gear. I think I'll do a little sort of cumulative review of all the bits and pieces I picked up recently. Just a quick shout, guys. If you're in the chat, please make sure you hit that like button. It really helps the channel out to get us out there to more and more people. And of course, if you share the video with others as well, that really helps out. So I'd be very much appreciative. Triple R says, "When is the next Rebel coming out?" I don't know. It's got a bit quiet on that one. There were some images sort of surfaced a little while back, but no signs of it yet. Orange Goblin says, "Why do you think the Tempo Next Percent and Alphafly create such diverse opinions? One man's meat is another man's poison." It is absolutely spot on, Orange Goblin. I'm very, very interested as to why some people, they lord over the Alphafly, and others just they do not get on with it at all. I know my buddy Kev Burton, he got a pair of the Alphaflys and the Tempo Next Percent, and he couldn't get on with it at all. They just did not work for him. I was in a lucky position where I managed to get the Alphafly very early. I don't think anyone else really managed to get a pair of them, shoe tube wise. It was way back in March when I got those. And of course I had a lot of time to become accustomed to them and get used to them and find out how they worked with me. I think other people haven't had that opportunity. They've not had the benefit of that time. And I think that's possibly what it is. When I got hold of the Tempo Next Percent, put those on, I could feel the similarities there. It's a different shoe, yes, but I could feel the little nods to the Alphafly, and yeah, that's a shoe that really makes things happen for me, the Tempo Next Percent. Can't stress how much I love that shoe. It's gone up. I know when I do get to 100, my score will be higher. It will be higher. I think it's worth the cash. I really do. Oh, Ben Browning says the infamous Apple Watch fail in the marathon. Oh, yeah. I've got watches coming out of my ears now to test out. Coros have been great. They've sent me another watch to test out as well, which I'm really enjoying. I really do like the interfaces on their watches. So simple and easy to get on with. Team Jim says, "Do I think that there'll be an updated version of the Endorphin Speed?" I think that they'd be mad not to. They'd be mad. What I'd love to see on that is a outsole that's got a little bit more friction to it. It's a bit more coarse. There's a bit more grip there for wet weather. I found that it didn't do well for me. I don't know whether it's just on my route, my local area in the wet. It didn't work out so well. As long as they stick with one thing though, it must have the garden centre odour. It must still have that. I'm going to demand it from Saucony. John McCluskey says, I only started the first comment battles as it made me laugh and reminded me of being a teenager surfing. Awesome. I know Andy's buddy, the Welsh runner, he really likes the Tempo Next Percent as well. So there are some people out there that do like it. There's a few other reviews. I'm not sure how much they ran in the shoe really to sort of give a reasonable appreciation of it. I can't remember. Did Seth review that shoe? I'm not sure what he thought of that one, but I really like it. It's a great shoe. And Ben Parks as well, he likes that shoe. And he wore that one into the floor. It was like, it was completely destroyed. Ingrid says the Cliftons gave me blisters too, used running socks. Yeah, I tried all manner of socks with that shoe. I tried lots of things and it just wasn't happening. Martha's here. She says, hi YouTube and Strava friends. Ed, will you be sent the new Takumi Sen? I'd rarely get sent shoes. I might try and buy it once it's available here in the UK, but I haven't seen it yet. But you'll think I like the new minimal upper structure. Awesome. Yeah, it does look like the midsole and the outsole are quite similar to the previous version. But that'll be good if we've got a shoe there that's had an improved upper, Martha, because a few of the shoes recently, they put out new versions and the uppers have been steps back. So Ben Browning says he's at 850 kilometres in the Tempo Next Percent. Wow. Blimey. I have seen a few people where they've the rubber section's torn between the pod and the kind of midfoot area, but mine just look fine. They look like, not when they took them out of the box, but they're covered in mud, but they look fine. Rich Rendell says, do I use any type of compression clothing on my legs? No, I like to try and keep my legs as free as possible. Even in this weather I still wear the Aeroswift shorts. Mrs. Edbud's dad laughs at me actually about those shorts, because even though I've got the large, because my legs are so long, they look like, you know, race shorts basically on me. The thing is, if I went for the extra large or something, they just look like a parachute. So I can't win really. When you got long legs, like anything looks silly. It's shorts wise. Run Tommy, Ed, favourite Christmas gift that you gave and favourite you received? Ooh. That's a favourite I received was my running gloves from Mrs. Edbud. They were spot on. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I did get a couple of Halo headbands as well. Miss Edbud got me one, and I got another one, Secret Santa, from the family as well. So, and the best one that I gave, it was a really beautiful scarf that I got for Miss Edbud. I think that was her favourite thing, and that was the one that I think giving to someone gave me the most back, you know. Kevin Scott says, I need chocolate to cheer myself up. Kevin, I got a whole box of After Eights here, so I'm gonna pass you one over the there we go. I've passed you one over the internet. Enjoy. There was an interesting comment there from someone about the Tempo Next Percent. Tony Mounsley says he doesn't understand all the negatives regarding the Tempo Next Percent. He's ran his twice and very enjoyable. Yeah, they really work for me. They really do. If there's anybody new in the chat, please make sure you do hit that like button. It really helps the channel out a huge amount to get us out there to a wide range of people. I think we're at 140 concurrent viewers. Joe, I know Joe's always on the lookout as to how many viewers we got in. That's a big number, actually. It's a good number. Everyone's in party mood in their homes. Oh, Robin's just mentioned there 125 viewers. I think we were up to just under 140 there. Matthew DeLuca says, "Hi Ed, thanks for a stellar shoe tubing year." I like that. Training now for his first marathon, half marathon, sorry, the Canberra marathon event. But I need to send you the bill for all the shoes. What are you going to wear for that one? What are you going to aim to wear for that race? It's always the trick. What shoe for which race? Team Jim says, "How fast do you have to run a half marathon to be considered an elite runner? Not world class, just elite." I don't know. Faster than me. I'm not sure really what counts as like an elite runner. My watch keeps telling me that I'm some sort of superhuman, you know. I still don't believe it, all this VO2 business. I'm not sure about that. I know that I'm not as good as that watch reckons I am. I'll never believe it. I never will. I never believe that I've fully got to where I want to be, because then I'm there, and what do you do? When I was a musician, you know, I got to this point where I thought, yeah, I'm here. This is great. And then I realised it wasn't where I wanted to be at all. It's kind of sad, but I'd managed to achieve a lot of the things I wanted to achieve when I was younger. So you've got to find new things, new targets to aim for. It's important. Let's try and answer some of the questions because there's so much here. Kevin Scott says, "Everyone, don't sell your soul to Mike Ashley." From a Newcastle United supporter, crikey. Marco says, "Yes, that one is a trail half marathon." Leon AL says, "Why are the second versions of most running shoes worse than the original?" I know, they always seem to move away from where we want to get to. They always move away from the perfection. Cameron says, "Wondering if you should get the endorphin speeds, as you can get them for 139. I'd go for it for that price. Don't think twice on that price. Go for it." Yeah, Ben Wise says, "Shame the Run Fast 3 didn't live up to expectations." Yeah, I'm not going to give up on that one though. We got some plans, Mrs. EDDBUD and I, for that shoe to improve the upper, improve the tongue, stop it from creasing at the sides, replace the laces, and I think we might be okay. You know, we might get some good miles out of that one. I mean, I still run some sub 7-minute miles in that shoe the other day. It just isn't as great as the second version. Marcus Baker says there, there's some Endorphin Speed 2 spy pictures online yesterday. New colours for the Speed coming in fair, but interesting. Running Guy says, "A tempo next percent, he ran a 10k PB on a training run." There you go, you see. I think for some people it just really hits the spot. I'm glad those are working out for you, Chris. That's good news. Run Tommy, got some good questions. Run Tommy, you always give me some real brain teasers. I like it. What brand do you think will improve the most in 2021? I've got a good feeling that Hoka are going to improve some of their models this year. Last year seemed to be just these upper updates and stuff. I think this year, with that incoming Carbon X2, I think that's going to be a good one. I've got to say, I've managed to resolve the problems on my Rocket X as well. Ran a really nice run in that one the other day. No issues, no rubbing at all, and I really enjoyed my time in that one. So I think Hoka can improve. I'm not sure Saucony can improve that much. They've set a high bar, haven't they? Perhaps Nike this year. There's been a few shoes that haven't really worked out that well for people this year. The Miler perhaps. I think people were a little bit disappointed in some ways about the Alphafly, if they could even get it. You know, it was so hard to get hold of that shoe. So we'll see. Who else can improve? Just too many New Balance shoes. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but there's just so many New Balance shoes that it's really hard to kind of keep a track on which one might work for you, which one isn't really necessary, and yeah, there's just too many. Ah, so Seth DeMore didn't like the Tempo Next percent. Did he like the Alpha Fly? I can't remember whether he liked the Alpha Fly all that much. I'm not sure if I've seen his video on that. I can't remember. I do remember at one point he mentioned that he thought that the Alpha Fly was going too far with it, but Body by Duff says, curious what the annual spend is on shoes and gear comes to. I dread to think. I'm not sure I want to know. John Shuttleworth says, all the best for 2021, and to you too, John. May we keep on getting PBs and the odd drink to celebrate. Absolutely, that sounds spot on for me. Don't forget your After 8 dinner mints as well. You got to keep. I've got boxes of these ready to rock. I'm gonna have a few of those later on. Lee Sumner says, my Tempo Next percents are back with Nike for the split outsole. Ah, just by the pod. Yeah, I did see that a few times. A few people had that issue. Martha says, Saucony speed outsoles are worn out on the outer rear edge, almost down to the midsole, 80 miles on. Interesting. I didn't really have any wear. I don't think there was any wear on my speeds at all, like 100. The rubber was durable, but for me, I just needed a bit more grip. Just occasionally on some sort of wet conditions, I felt that they weren't as... they didn't give me the traction that I really wanted. Cameron says, put the chocolate in the USB port. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm Ethernet wired in. I've got like a, you know, I've got a 20 megabits per second upload here. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the time of the day. Everybody's probably watching Netflix and Christmas films and stuff here in the UK, perhaps. I'm not sure why it's doing that. There's somebody that I can't pronounce the first bit. It's somebody gaming there's asked about the 1080 V10. Yeah, I really like those. Do check out the reviews on the channel. The initial and the 100-mile review of that. I really enjoyed that shoe. Probably my favourite highly cushioned shoe of 2020, in fact. Omar says, should you get the Saucony Ride 13 or the Speed? I'd get the Speed. You can use it as a daily trainer as well, no problem. Ben Browning says about Sarah Hall's Asics prototype. Yeah, there seems to be about 6 or 7 different versions of that shoe. Looks like they've given them all to World Athletics to clarify them. So there's a lot of different versions of it. Let's try and catch up with some of the comments here if I can. There's so many. It's really tough. Sorry guys if I miss any questions and stuff. I am really sorry. I'll just try and pack in as many as I can. I want to try and finish up a little bit before so you guys can head across. I know a number of you will to Kafuzi's live stream as well. My buddy. He's my brother. Who else do we have here? Yeah, I agree there with Martha about the Speed being a bit more versatile. I think the Speed is just one of those shoes you can use it for anything. A bit like a Swiss Army shoe. That's what it is. Ben Browning, you mentioned about the VO2 max there. The Forerunner 245 reckons I'm like some sort of bionic Superman. Bear in mind I've been using my Polar OH1 Plus to monitor heart rate with that, so I'm very confident about the results I get with that heart rate arm strap. I really am very confident about that. And it reckons that I'm 60, which I'm not sure about that. I'm really not. And some of the estimated race times that it gives me, I'm looking at them just like I'm feeling really I'm feeling really beaten up just looking at them, thinking, what? I can't do that. That's impossible. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it all. So Ben Y says, yeah, Seth prefers the Vaporfly Next Percent over the Alphafly. I thought that was probably the case. What's everybody's sort of mileage that you've managed to clock up this year? I mean, I set out with a like a target, I suppose, of about I think it was like 1,800. And I'm just coming up for 2,300 miles now for the year. So it'd be interesting to see what some of you have managed to clock up. Maybe you can put that into the comments to let me know. Alan Hayes has got a comment there. He says, a little random but might not get another chance to ask, did the Vaporfly Next Percent stretch out at all? I didn't feel that they stretched out, no. I thought they were pretty consistent. So we've got a few of these coming in now. So Mike Davis has clocked up 200 kilometres. Robin's at 4,100, amazing. Ah, 2,000. Okay, right, that makes more sense, Mike. Yeah, I find that the heart rate strap that I wear on my arm is absolutely fine. The problems I get, because my wrists are just really thin, they just don't, heart rate sensors on my wrist just don't seem to work very well. I think it's just because they're bony and, yeah, there's just not an awful lot there. Like Skeletor. Oh, so Steve was on 1,850 miles, but then sadly injured. Oh, that's a shame, Steve. I hope you're on the road to recovery. Run Tommy's on 2,800 miles. Fantastic. Nathan N has got over the 1,000. That's brilliant. So Cameron's getting up towards 760. Brilliant. Ben Browning, God, that's a serious amount of distance. Up the koala bears, I like it. Great stuff, guys. Chris McLean, 1,710. Brilliant stuff, guys. Donato with 3,000 kilometres and 800 kilometres of walking. Blimey. That's great stuff to hear, Donato, keeping yourself seriously fit over this period. I think that's brilliant as well, because you're making sure that you, at this point where everybody needs to be as fit as they possibly can be, you're making that happen. So that's really good. Kevin Bickerton says, Ed, you need to eat more after eights to warm us up for Kafuzi's Monday mukbang. I'm going to send one of these to Mike as well, out onto the internet. Donato, that certainly is not bad after a kidney operation. Blimey. Take my hat off to you for that one. Brilliant. Brilliant stuff, guys. I'll see if I can grab a couple of questions just before we finish up with the stream today. Kieran Brown, so he mentioned about Seth, said he thought the Alphafly didn't offer as much value. as the Vaporfly. There's not a huge amount between them, is there? What is it about £20 or something? I mean, if you're going to spend that huge amount of money, that's not an awful lot between the two. What I'd suggest there is that I've seen almost no wear whatsoever at 100 miles on the Alphafly. With the Next Percent, yeah, there was some wear there back in the heel area and in the forefoot, but I'm really surprised with the Alphafly actually. There was a little bit of early wear in the rubber in the forefoot, but it didn't really go anywhere. It didn't increase at all, so I think it's probably feeling just as good as the Next Percent. I think it's what works for you, you know, if you get a chance to test them out. One might work slightly better than the other. I'll have to see. Donato likes my hat. This is it's a Tailwind from Nike, I believe. Yeah, so it's a nice hat. And what I like about them is they don't weigh too much, Donato. So if you're out running and you feel like you're starting to reach that point when you're just starting to get too warm, which as you well know in the UK, the temperature just it's like a sine wave, isn't it? It's just up and down all the time. You never really know what's going to happen. So you can whip that off and just chuck it into your pocket or something, or attach it to your, I don't know, something. Store it under a hedge for a little while and get it on the way back. I had to do that this year with a coat actually. It was so hot. I just thought I can't run in this and just dumped it in a hedge, and fortunately no one stole it. No one's stolen my coat yet. Ben Brown is on the McVitie's dark chocolate pretzels. That sounds really good. That sounds good, doesn't it? Team Jim says, someone going to run Copenhagen Marathon? I'll tell you what, I'd love to run Copenhagen Marathon. I'd love to do that one. That would be wonderful. Right guys, I think I'm going to draw this one to a close very shortly. Just do one more question, I think. Samantha Jenkins has just come in. Hello. Hi Samantha, thanks for joining us. Eric Ackerstrom says, you made such a good job for many of us people around the world. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. He does have a question. A half marathon, would I go for the Adios Adizero Pro, the Speed, or the Pro? I think I'll probably go for the Adizero Adios Pro. I think that would be my choice at the moment if I was to do a race tomorrow. That would be the shoe that I'd grab. That would be the one. Right guys, I'm going to draw this one to a close. There is a video launching in about 30 minutes time. Another running shoe, yay or nay, the last one for 2020. This is the last live stream of 2020 as well. I'd like to thank all of you who've come in and joined in with the chat, and all of you that are watching as well. I hope you've had a fantastic Christmas break. Still got a few more days hopefully to enjoy yourselves. And please make sure you stay safe and keep running when you can. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you